Okay, so we are continuing with 3 minutes of Tehillim. Perek Kuf Yud Gimel, Psalm 113. This till Perek Kuf Yud Ches is what we refer to as Halal Mitzrayim, or the Hallel, which we often say on Yontiv and Rosh Chodesh at different times. And it's referred to as Halal Mitzrayim because, according to at least one opinion, that they actually, Moshe and the Jewish people, when they emerged out of Mitzrayim, they said it when they came out of the sea. The first two prakim, Kuf Yud Gimel and Kuf Yud Dalet, deal with the past, the Exodus, the redemption of the past, whereas the rest of Hallel actually talks about our future redemptive vision of the La'aseh of the future redemption. So there's some convergence between the past and the present and the future. But what I found was beautiful was Rav Hirsch says something about the what I mentioned in passing as the present. So there's the past, there's the future, but then Rav Hirsch talks about the present. Where do we see the present? So Rav Hirsch says in his comment on the Siddur, the Hirsch Siddur, he says that originally the reading of Hallel had only been intended for days commemorating the major instances of miraculous deliverance in our history, namely Passover, Shavuos, Sukkot, and Chanukah. And Purim, we know, there's according to one opinion, the Megillah takes the place of Hallel. So where does Rosh Chodesh come in? So he says the following. He says, as time went on, however, even the mere survival of the people of Israel in exile came to be considered one single constant miracle of divine deliverance. Even the men of the Great Assembly, the Anshe Knesset Gedolah, already considered Yisrael's perseverance and their survival in exile as no less a demonstration of God's omnipotence and majesty. And it's a long sentence, but basically what he's saying is that we had to recognize the fact that Klal Yisrael, throughout the Golus, throughout the exile, was protected and withstood all the tests of time. So he said, sort of this question was, so how do we show this? How do we recognize this at the same time, not overdo it and properly recognize the fact that Klal Yisrael has been protected? So he said this balance was struck, that they decided to make Rosh Chodesh, which symbolizes the constant, moon and the fluctuation of time. Rosh Chodesh would be a time, we don't always think of it this way, but Rosh Chodesh, he writes, is a time to actually recognize that Hashem, throughout all the different times, throughout the different cycles, throughout the Golus, has been there protecting us. And that's why we use the same language of Hallel as a thanksgiving and praise for the same language that we use, let's say, for Pesach, where we talked about the struggle and the danger, and then the deliverance. The same process is recognized at Rosh Chodesh, and that's what he says represents the basis of our Jewish consciousness, which is a guarantee of deliverance from sin, which can be attained at any time through a reunion with Hashem. In other words, another piece to this is, there's never a time, I'm too far gone, or this isn't the right time. It's not holiday season. No. Rosh Chodesh symbolizes that there's always a chance for renewal. There's always a re-engagement a person can make with Hashem. And that's why we use Hallel on Rosh Chodesh as sort of this balance between the Yomim Tovim and the deliverance of the past. And Rav Hirsch says it continues throughout the Golus, even as we go through in the present, and Mirz Hashem, and the ultimate redemption in the future.